the value of which is the word white. So that is basically objects. So objects are kind of like arrays, but they have more functionality. So they allow you to set names and specific properties. So let's start with some objects. So I'm going to make an object called bird, right? And I'm using curly brackets here to denote that this is not an array, but this is an object literal, which again is just a different data type, meaning it has different properties, different things you can do with it. Now bird is basically nothing, but it is an object, but as you can see, you know, it has no properties yet. And just like I did this door here, I can just define properties on this. So I can say bird name is dove. Oops, not birds, bird. Right, and now if I do console dir for bird, I can see that there's a property now called name. Birds, not birds, objects can also have methods, which are just basically properties. So I can say bird.sing. Oops, not sing. Sing is a function that you know, takes a message, and let's say it just returns the message plus, or rather, you know, singing plus the message. So now if I do bird sing, right, I can see that's a function. If I call that function, you know, using the parentheses with, you know, something, right, then that method is now executed. You can define all this kind of, you don't have to define all these things one at a time. You can define it all at once. So you could say bird equals name is, you know, dove. Maybe the age of the bird, I don't know, is 1. Sing is a function that takes a message and returns singing, the word singing plus, or yeah, plus the message. Well, and let's say that's all that, you know, bird can really do. Oops, what did I do wrong? Oh, dude, watch your spelling. That's the one thing the console doesn't really tell you. All right, there you go. So now I have bird. It's the age of bird is 1. It's the name of bird. It's dove. And, you know, it can sing just as it did before. And then, well, we've already seen object here, but to bring up type of again, right, it'll tell you that this is an object. The reason why I'm showing you how objects work is because most APIs will return data in a format that is abbreviated as JSON. What that means is JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. So what that means is generally an API will return you not really an array, it'll be an array, but inside of the array will be objects. And as you've seen, objects are just these kind of containers that have different properties. So for example, when you make a call to the Flickr API, you're going to get an array of photos, and each photo is represented as an object in the sense that it has an ID, it has a URL, it has maybe, you know, a user that created the photo, and so on. Similar with Twitter, you might have a property on the tweet that's the actual text of the tweet, then a property that's the date of when the tweet was created, the username, and so on. And as you've seen, you access all of this stuff using the dot sign. So as the last example, let's just make a function that makes a bird. That function takes a name and an age, right? And then inside of here, we're creating a bird that has property of name, which takes the argument name, and an age that takes this age. And well, let's say that's all this simplified sort of bird does. But then the function returns the bird that we've just created. Oops, I always do this. I guess it sort of seems more, you know, semantically accurate to use returns. But anyway, so now we have a function that helps us make birds. So we can make a bird, like a sparrow maybe, that's 2 years old, right? Returns an object. We can make another bird that's like a crow maybe. Oops. Right, and you can use arrays. This is sort of the inverse of what you're going to be getting out of an API, right? So you can have birds, which is an array, contains an object, a sparrow, 1 year, and another one that's a crow, that's 12 years old. This is typically what you're going to get back out of an API. So you're seeing it's first and foremost it's an array because there's square brackets, but inside of the array there's objects, and the object has different properties.